I'm Algimantas. I represent Creator, the Paradise Trinity. I am as His ambassador to this planet and on this planet, and also apostle of Jesus and his partner, Creator daughter Nebuchadnezzar. I present spiritual teachings in my native language, Lithuanian, since I live in Lithuania. It's in Eastern Europe, at the Baltic Sea, but I don't live at the Baltic Sea. I live, well, in the middle of the country, in the second largest city, Kaunas, that used to be a provisional capital between the two world wars. Now the current capital is Vilnius. I set up a living religion of revelation named after Creator, the Paradise Trinity. I am. These four personalities make up one Creator. These four personalities are absolutely interconnected, interunited spiritually, and they operate as one. So I present Lithuanian spiritual teachings in the living temple, the Paradise Trinity. I am a living temple at the spiritual service of worshiping Creator. While in English, it's not my native language, it's foreign to me, I present my spiritual teachings somewhere in nature, in the city, or maybe indoors. It depends upon the weather conditions. Now the fall has come to Lithuania. It's pretty chilly. I put on this jacket. And I'm walking in a very quiet place. It's the residential area of private homes, small homes. So I want to show you the setting. This is most probably the biggest street in this residential area. This is the street I've walked up to this place while looking for a setting I would like to stand in and present my spiritual teaching. And you know, I come across just accidentally I've come across this wooden cross with a crucifix on it. It's in the yard, a huge cross, wooden cross, and the crucifix on the cross. Jesus Christ, crucified Jesus. And such crosses used to be, well, very common in Lithuania. It's a strongly Catholic country. And the church has very strong influence even on politics in Lithuania, on social life, on family life. Therefore, Lithuania has not yet adopted the partnership law so that homosexuals might become as one family. And I hope it shall never adopt such a distorted law, distorted family, because family has been designed by Creator for the most remote planets from his dwelling abode, which is in the very center of the whole of creation, and which are inhabited by mortals, human beings of two opposite sexes. And only two opposite sex members make up a family and co-create a new living being together with Creator as a new son or daughter of Creator, to make life on this planet better than it has been received from the previous generation. And each generation should improve the living conditions and the environment for the coming generation. That's an axiom, that's evolution. That's the design of and by Creator himself, the Paradise Trinity, I am. Not only to these, the most remote planets from Paradise, Creator's dwelling abode, the very focus, concentration of his energy vibrations, but also to all beings of all spiritual categories. Once we are resurrected, we shall have a different form, and this form is called by a new word, Marontial form. It shall be the form of higher frequency vibrations. Now it's the lowest frequency vibrations in the material form. So once we're resurrected in a higher form, we shall embark upon our personality identity development as a soul. Soul is an intermediary stage between the material and the spiritual. And this is the stage that we shall be enlightened, spiritualized, educated, that we should experience Creator ever deeper. If we have not discovered Creator within on this initial planet, on our planet, we shall have to do it as a soul identity of our very same personality, which is now within this body, with all its character qualities. Our personality is spiritual because it is the gift given to each of us as human beings by Creator himself, who is the source and center of personality. And he is also the source and center of spirit, as of all energy, because the whole of creation is the manifestation of Creator's energy in different forms, in myriads of forms. The material form only of different elements comprises all the planets, even the dwelling abode of Creator himself is material, but it's a one substance, and this substance is unique. It's not replicated anywhere in creation. It's like a model. It's neither living nor non-living. That's why it's unique, but it's material. And it's like a one piece, one substance, but it has flat top and flat bottom. It's not spherical. Plus, it has three surfaces: the upper, the peripheral, and the nether bottom. But it's a different theme, different topic. Now, I do not want to go in detailization of paradise. By the way, it's our destiny also bestowed on each of us by Creator himself to fuse with his spirit, which is called a thought adjuster. Become one personality with Creator's spirit, and under his guidance, passing through the stage of our soul identity development to our spiritual identity development of our spiritual personality, and reach Creator himself on paradise, on his dwelling abode, and to stand in his immediate presence. And even though he has no outer form, he is a personality, as I've mentioned before at the beginning of my teaching. There are four personalities making up one Creator. They are all coordinate and existential, and that means they are not only eternal, but they are the sources and centers of eternity, of all energy, of all infinity. Material creation is being expanded. Space, cosmos, is also being expanded. And I will tell you that space is breathing. Space has contraction and expansion. This is the space breathing process, and it occupies 1 billion years according to our standard, our planetary standard. So breathing in, or contraction of space, takes 1 billion years. The vertical space is contracting, while the horizontal space, while contracting during 1 billion years. The vertical space is expanding also for 1 billion years. And then vice versa. Once the vertical space starts contracting, this contraction is lasting for 1 billion years, and then the vertical space is contracting for 1 billion years, our planetary time. But I want to get back to my spiritual teaching. When I told you that it was a common thing to have similar crosses with a crucifix on them. Of course, mostly they were in private sites, on private sites. And almost every farmstead used to have similar crosses. Later on, these crosses, or not these, but similar crosses, wooden, high, maybe some 4-5 meter in height, would be put up at the road intersections out of cities, already somewhere in the countryside. And it was common to see plenty of crosses. No one would even get surprised by seeing them. But now, while walking and coming across this wooden cross with the crucifix on it, I was completely surprised, because it's the city. It's a big city according to Lithuanian standard. It's over 300,000 people now inhabiting it. And all of a sudden, in this quiet, private homes area, there is a cross. That's marvelous. It's wonderful. And Jesus, his spiritual rank is Creator Son. Creator, because he has created his local universe, not alone, but together with his partner, Creator daughter, Nebuchadnezzar. Her name is Nebuchadnezzar. And of course, the material that has been supplied out of Creator's energy, it was managed, controlled, remodeled by different energy centers and energy supervisors. And life was also created by Jesus and Nebuchadnezzar within their local universe. Because this dome that we have above us, it's a huge universe, a super universe. There are 100,000 local universes within this enormous super universe. And the capital of the super universe is in the very center of the Milky Way. Its name is Uversa. Uversa. So now, getting back to the wooden crosses, I want to attract your attention to one thing. People who are spiritually minded, they also realize within themselves, spiritually realize that the cross has a very deep meaning. That's why it was a common thing to make these crosses in former time. While today, the spirit and spiritual mindedness of all generations is, I would say, deteriorating, degrading, and it leads to degradation in all spheres of different fields of activity. Absolutely in all spheres, be it medicine sphere, education, sport, family life, interhuman relationship, and simply relationship on the street. It's degrading. People care for their own private and selfish interests, and they forget about Creator, about Jesus. That's why with each passing generation, these crosses were, at least in Lithuania, were made and installed ever fewer and fewer until they completely vanished. And it reflects, this process reflects human degradation from the vantage point of Creator's evolution. Because Creator's evolution provides an evolutionary plan to glorify Creator out of one's spirit. And for you to understand it better, out of one's heart, not by performing a ritual, but by opening your personality, which is spiritual, and establishing a living relationship with Creator. And that is living communion with Creator in your own words, in your own thoughts, in your own energy vibrations that is being experienced by the spiritual personality. And at the same time, it is emitted out of the personality and spread all around. Because we are like power stations. We generate power within and radiate these vibrations out. That's why if you spend some time among people who, well, do evil deeds, you will begin to feel sort of an uneasiness within yourselves without knowing the cause of this change in your mode, in your inner state, in the consciousness. But you really experience this unwanted change as if it has come without any cause. Of course, there was no visible cause, but there were people evil-minded, and by their way of personality thinking, they were radiating low-frequency energy vibrations. And these vibrations affect your consciousness, your mind. So that's why I was very happy. I was very glad to see this wooden cross in the city area, not somewhere in the countryside. Because in the countryside, I know there are such crosses quite in few places. But in the city, that's a surprise, at least to me. So spiritual maturity of the personality depends upon the personality's relationship, living communion with Creator. Because once you open your personality, the vibrations out of Creator Himself, through His Spirit, indwelling your mind, that thought adjuster is emitting directly into your subconsciousness, superconsciousness, and consciousness. The more you keep your living communion with Creator, the brighter is your subconsciousness. It's being cleaned of all pollutants, of all pollution, of all unnecessary to you as a personality, all selfish thoughts, evil ideas. Because Creator's Spirit is filling your subconsciousness and consciousness with only divine and bright ideas. How to make your life ever better for all, not personally for you, for all. But once you expand your spiritual vantage point, you will realize that a better life for the whole means a better life for you personally as well. If there are no crimes, it's better to everyone, better to express oneself, and plus not to fear that there might be committed any act against you as a person, as a criminal act. You become free from such worries, such fears. If not for you personally, maybe for your children, for your friends, relatives. And I mean by criminal activity, not only what is physically criminal, but also by politicians who are deceiving people, who are adopting selfish laws to serve certain groups of business, science. Well, influential people, just to please them and gain something from them, selfishly, for themselves. So this is also criminal activity, even though it's not recorded, registered in the criminal code acts or laws. But according to Creator's evaluation, it contradicts Creator's evolutionary plan, and it's criminal. And Creator knows everything from within, all your intentions. As I've told you, His Spirit is indwelling your mind, not the brain, which is material, but your consciousness and subconsciousness. And once you open up sincerely to Creator, this living communion is coming through the superconsciousness. So the thought adjuster is filling up even your superconsciousness with divine plan of Creator's evolution. How to implement this divine plan personally to you, because every human being is indwelled by Creator's Spirit, and His Spirit is taking care of this mortal in particular. So that's why He knows all human energy vibrations within, be they expressed in words, in thoughts, even unfinished thoughts. This is just like a perfect copy of what you think and do. Therefore, you cannot hide your intentions, even if you perform some good deed for others. But if you want to be praised for this good deed, the motive is selfish. You want popularity, you want glory, you want some reward. It might be by some expression of one's gratitude. This is also selfish, because your personality has not yet disclosed itself spiritually to embrace all people with Creator's energy vibrations. That's why the animal origin material, human mind, is dominating your divine mind, bestowed by you by Creator, bestowed upon you by Creator. And that's why you believe that by doing a good deed, you might hide true intentions of this act. Yeah, you might hide the true intentions, your true intentions, from other humans, but not from Creator. That's why when I was born out of spirit, I experienced, like I mentioned even to myself, it's an inner nuclear blast within me, exposing enormous warmth and a surge of love for all, without any exception. And then I started just analyzing. I'm different from what I've been just a moment ago. And what is the difference? Fear has vanished that I was feeling on my conscious level. That, you do not want to leave this world by an unexpected death, or fall ill with some fatal disease, or to, in a way, encounter, some bad episodes in your life, and so on and so forth. There are plenty of worries, plenty of fears, and it is not only on the conscious level, but like the iceberg, it's underwater. There are plenty of fears in subconsciousness that we cannot feel on our conscious level. So then I realized that fear has vanished, and it's liberation. It's so wonderful change. The battery has run out of power because, like I told you, it's pretty cold. So I changed the battery. So I continue my thought. I was liberated from conscious fear. But later I discovered, once I established a living communion with Creator, I started receiving teachings from Him. Well, I published books of His teachings, of Jesus. And I began to experience that even in such episodes when the fear you are not consciously feeling props up from my subconsciousness, I can also just, in a way, extinguish this fear fire by addressing Creator himself, addressing sincerely as my best friend, as my teacher, as my guide, as my leader, as my father and mother, as my source and center, because he's the source and center of personality, which is spiritual within this body. So, and right away, this fear gets diminished and even passes away. So the living communion, which is spiritual and sincere, is real. It's not a ritual. It's a living relationship with Creator himself, my source and center, my father and mother. That's why he's responding to your sincere pleading, responding that you would begin to experience his response. So that's why I'm training spiritual teachers by Creator's direction. And what I'm speaking out the way Creator is leading me to. He is putting his ideas and words into my lips. I'm like a loudspeaker of Creator, and that's it. Therefore, I'm free. I'm free. I do not belong to any human organization, institution. Only to Creator himself. And like I told you before, at the beginning of my introduction of this teaching, I represent Creator as his ambassador to and on this world, and as apostle of Jesus and his partner Nebuchadnezzar to and on this world. So that's why I operate, work by training spiritual teachers in unison with Jesus, Nebuchadnezzar, and the Paradise Trinity I am. And that's why I feel freedom. This is the true freedom, not what people claim. Political freedom, economic freedom, family freedom, humans freedom. No, freedom is only from Creator. Once you are born out of spirit, you begin to feel that spiritual freedom is the top of the iceberg. But you know not only what is on the top of your iceberg, but you know what is in your basis of the iceberg underwater, in your subconsciousness, how much it's polluted by generations upon generations. And you know what is above your top on your journey to paradise while implementing Creator's evolutionary plan and your own personal destiny bestowed upon you by Creator to reach him on paradise and stand in his immediate presence. And even though he is not visible, even spiritually, but his vibrations are being felt by every spiritual personality. And that's why even now, being in the material outer form, my personality is the same spiritual and is feeling all these four personalities making up one creator. Yeah, I'm feeling them. So that's why I'm free. Free. And I want to help you begin understand this, your own personal living and the essential target in your life ever deeper, just much further away beyond your personal and selfish interests. It's for your own sake and for the benefit of the whole. That's it. This is the evolutionary plan of and by Creator. That's simple to have this sort of living. Yeah, it's very simple. But at the same time, it requires your permanent efforts. Efforts by your spiritual personality, which is eternal. But in our case, it first should be waked up, because the material mind is suppressing the spiritual mind of the same personality. The spiritual mind is bestowed by Creator upon each personality with all its potentials. But to make these potentials actuals, the material mind is impeding this process. That's why people degrading, and even the process of evolution is distorted. That's why I do desire to attract people's attention that it's abnormal and it's counter Creator as well, against Creator as well, and it's unnatural, because evolution is everything within Creator, and it cannot be within Creator that there might be evil deeds for someone's selfish interests. It's insanity. But to realize it, you need to open up your higher spiritual mind. And that's why I'm here on this planet and to this planet to assist sincere truth seekers, to assist you, my brethren, no matter where you might be living, in Brazil, in America, in Canada, Australia, Africa, Europe, Asia. Yeah. That's wonderful, to live within Creator and experience Him within and commune with Him and act under His leading as a co-creator for the benefit of all, and using one's free will, also bestowed by Creator. So, I leave you in my spiritual embrace and with Creator within you. Address Him even today, sincerely, in your own words. Don't care for the words. Just be sincere and dare to do it without putting it off for tomorrow.